Audra catches up with Kyle in the maze and wants to talk. Kyle hopes she won't try to convince him to continue her perfume battle charade. She's lost, and the only smell coming from her is the scent of agonizing defeat. Audra insists she was feeling vulnerable and came to Kyle for comfort. Kyle's not buying it. Audra says she's not attracted to him, he's smug. She was horribly upset given that Damien was Nate's brother. Kyle says they both know she wanted more than a shoulder to cry on. Audra's sorry she was carried away by her emotions. She wants to pretend none of this ever happened. Kyle is moving on from this game. She's shown him he was right all along about her and Victor. This act of repentance is too little, too late. Audra wants to make Vibrante into the next great cosmetics firm. Kyle's sure she'll use whatever means necessary to achieve her goals, including giving her body away at Victor's request. She warns him he's about to get his eyes scratched out. She was not going to sleep with him. She's sure he won't want to take these accusations to Victor. Kyle says he already did, and Nikki was there when he informed the mustache that Audra had failed. Audra says he made his situation worse. Making false accusations about Victor in front of his wife will provoke his fury. He'll want him away from Claire even more now. She doubles down that she made an honest mistake, turning to him in a moment of weakness. Kyle's sure this is the end of Vibrante and Idra's career. Audra insists Victor won't walk away from Vibrante. Her arrangement with him was strictly professional. He's paranoid to think it's all about him. Kyle warns she won't worm her way out of this one. Audra accuses him of projecting. When they were alone together, he realized he wanted their relationship to be more about business. When he couldn't have her, he put this on her. She points out he almost cheated on Claire and must wonder if he's worthy of her. Does he think Victor is right to want to keep them apart? Will Jack cut ties with Billy? In their sleeping car, Jack tells Diane about the book he found there. Diane notices he's found it hard to relax. He asks how she's holding up. Diane can't stop thinking about Idra's deal with Victor. She actually thought she valued herself more than that. She hopes Kyle won't confront Victor. She still senses something is bothering Jack. He admits it's Billy. Jack sighs that they all saw this coming since Jill sold Chancellor out from under Billy. He's been obsessed with getting it back. Diane thinks it's fair for Jack to call him out on that. He's given him more than enough reason to question his judgment. He gave him a blank check. Jack genuinely thought he wanted to do something to enhance the family name. Revenge has no place in a solid business plan. Jack's sure Billy will be ready to dissolve their business arrangement. But he can't unless he agrees to sell his interest. He's starting to think he needs someone else to teach him to rise to the occasion. Diane and Jack go over his support of Billy and his criticisms. He needs to find a way to accept him for the man that he is. Diane asks if he'll cut him out of his life. Jack complains he always comes back to rescue him. His presence in his life may be a factor in holding him back. Maybe the only way for him to find his true path is for him to get out of the way. Can Billy schmooze Kane? Billy finds Kane in the bar area of the maze, and they discuss the Damien tragedy and life being short. Billy's impressed by what Kane has been able to do in such a short period of time. No judgment here. Kane tells Billy he has no ill will toward him either. Billy's happy to hear that and calls him brother. Kane and Billy muse about being brothers. Kane says he invited Jill, but she sent her regrets. Billy doesn't know what's going through her head these days. Kane is sure he's upset about the way things played out at Chancellor. If he and his father can reconnect, he's sure Billy and Jill can too. Billy only wants to talk about Abbott Communications. Kane wonders if Jack lost confidence in him. Billy says he's lost confidence in Jack. When Kane reached out to him as Dumas, he saw an opportunity. Kane wasn't looking to be the sole investor. Billy is sure he'll want to make a bigger commitment now that they've talked. Billy tells Kane the numbers don't lie. The horses are at the gate. The race is about to start, and all he has to do is throw his money in and join him in the winner's circle. Kane's in no place to make a deal given a man just died in his arms. Billy heard that there's evidence against Nick and he's got him locked away. He's surprised he didn't factor in the animosity of the Newman family into doing business. They should come to a deal because he knows what he wants, and he can help him get it. Did Carter do it? In the main train car, Chance approaches Carter to talk about the murder. Carter informs him he should be questioning Nick Newman. He repeats that he'd called it a night when the murder occurred and the groundskeeper roused him to tell him about the incident. Carter says that's not what the groundskeeper told him. Carter intones, then he's mistaken. Victor appears and asks, is he? Or are you trying to protect Kane? Victor asks how long Carter has been in Dumas' employ. He says it has been a couple of years and acknowledges that his relationship with Dumas can't be measured in dollars and cents. Victor remarks that he has such a sense of duty to his employer, he might protect him no matter what. Chance asks if he'd cover up a crime for Kane, even if it meant framing an innocent man. Carter declares that their questions are insulting. They tell him that his boss is Kane Ashby, not Aristotle Dumas. People who commit crimes use aliases. Was he part of this one? They establish that Carter is his right-hand man and believed that he was Dumas. Carter doesn't understand what they want from him. Victor says, "We want the truth." Continuing the grilling, Victor asks Carter if Kane confided in him about his plan to murder Damien. Carter says that didn't happen. Chance thinks Carter did what he had to do to protect him when he found out he committed a crime. Carter says he'd do anything to protect him, but he didn't do what they're suggesting. Victor says, "He's using you." Carter owes his life to Mr. Dumas. Victor asks if he liked to spend his life in a French prison for covering for his boss. Carter has no more information and suggests they question Nicholas. Kane's convinced he's the killer. As Carter's walking away, Victor tells him someone saw him planting a knife dripping with blood in his son's sleeping compartment. Carter calls this a desperate attempt by a father to protect his son. Victor muses about doing anything to protect the ones they love. What would his devotion lead him to do? Carter confirms there is no limit to what he'll do for Mr. Dumas or Ashby. He pulled him from poverty and restored his dignity. He could never repay that debt, but the fact that he would do what they're accusing him of doesn't mean he did do it. Chance tells him to take a hike. Carter tells Victor he appreciates the position he's in, but whoever said they saw him place the knife under the sink is lying. Chance intones, "We never said that knife was found under the sink. Why is Nick like this?" In the locked room, Nick and Sharon banter as he tells her picking a lock is the badassiest thing he's ever seen her do. She gets the door unlocked and they high-five. Opening the door, the goon is standing there. Nick socks him as Sharon gasps. Nick and the guard fight until Nick gets hurt. Sharon screams, "Nick!" as the guard asks, "You had enough?" Nick grabs the champagne bottle and swings it backward to knock out the goon as he replies, "Nope." Sharon rushes to Nick's side. Sharon tries to get Nick up, but he clutches his side and tells her to go get help. Sharon says she'll be right back and takes off. Nick agonizes in a chair. Can Billy save Nick? Standing by the bar in the maze, Kane tells Billy he's always had great ideas. Billy insists he's learned from his mistakes over the years. Kane muses that if you don't evolve, you don't survive. Billy asks if he wants to work together. Kane's focus isn't on business right now, but on the safety of his guests. Billy tells him the sooner they can come to a deal, the better it will be for both parties. Kane will let him know soon. He walks off and Sharon appears, yelling at Billy that she needs his help. Nick's been hurt and it's real bad. In the locked room, Nick tells himself to handle the pain as he looks at the blood on his hand. Undoing his shirt, he insists to himself that this is nothing. Seeing the blood on his stomach, he grimaces. Nick is passed out by the time Sharon and Billy arrive. Billy checks the wound and says, "That's not good." Sharon, "He's lost a lot of blood." Feeling for a pulse, Billy gives Sharon a look of alarm. A heartbreaking realization for Jack. In his train car, Jack pours a drink and flashes back to arguing with Billy about Chancellor and Abbott communications. Diane is sad that Jack thinks his support for Billy has been anything but beneficial. Jack says his brother always feels judged by him. Diane suggests he take a step back. Jack says it can't be half measures. He always comes racing to save the day. He's starting to feel like an enabler. Billy knows he'll catch him and get him back on his feet. Tearing up, Jack asks, "Diane, what if my love for him is what is holding him back?" He has to consider letting Billy go. They embrace. Jack tells Diane that Billy has made it clear that he neither wants nor needs his help. Maybe it's time to listen. Diane shrugs that at least he won't be able to blame Jack when things go wrong. But can he really walk away? They both know it won't be long until he gets himself into another situation he can't handle. Will Audra or Kyle prevail? Still in the maze, Kyle states to Audra that he